An ability in this market really to reposition yourselves. I think they got to get better with technology, economy hotels. They got to attract the new wave of customers who are cell phone driven or app driven to grab their attention, make it easy for them to stay, and make it a seamless process. Before, I mean, the luxury hotels have made it that way, but economy and mid-scale need to get to a point where technology assists them for the customer base to make it an ease of booking.
Well, I think if you look at the economy segment itself, it's known as being clean and comfortable. So you got to make sure that's the first base that we are, doing. And it's also knowing what the guest wants at the end of the day. Now you see a lot of people wanting experiences at the hotel. How can you make it something different where it's not a big, huge infrastructure cost on the owners? Something like quality bedding, comfortable quality bedding, having a good sized TV, and just having a warm, clean look of the hotel will help that customer, be more engaged to that hotel also, and it'll create more of an environment where people aren't just perceiving as an economy brand versus maybe even like a mid-scale brand at the end of the day.
Well, obviously, you've got to have operations in order, but the most significant way they can improve their reach is through social media. Now I sell hotels; that's our specialty, but also own part of a social firm, and they basically manage social media for the whole United States. And it is a mobile environment; it's growing more and more mobile, and people, the vast majority of the hotel owners, I just don't think that they truly understand Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, Foursquare, but I would say really understanding and either doing it yourself or having the right people. But I think the greatest reach and the most inexpensive reach is through social media.
I think you have to be careful with the economy segment and the mid-scale segment because you can easily get into scope creep where you can start trying to chase the amenities that you feel like your guests want, a better and better, more improved experience, and all of a sudden becomes unsustainable in terms of the cost of renovating and even the staffing required to maintain all that. I think you have to stay with the basics when you're trying to compete on a price point, which is what you're doing in the economy segment. And I think you just have to be careful with offering the guests the absolute core of what they need with very good service, but just be careful with the amount of amenities that you try to start slipping in there.
I think in today's day, mid-scale and economy properties are really primed for repositioning themselves. There's a couple of considering factors. When you consider just 2 years ago, the Gen X and the millennial generation literally doubled the spend of the boomer generation, which means there's a transition in consumer behaviors. Along with that transition, there's a plethora of existing inventory or supply, if you will, within the economy and the mid-scale sector. But little has been done to change those hotels to accommodate this new traveler and this new traveler needs and wants. And the same sort of standards that existed in yesteryear are not the same sort of standards that they're asking for today. So there's a huge opportunity to reposition mid-scale and economy brands into more of what the consumer today and in the future is looking for in their very own travel requirements.